Hello, hello. It is me, Cassidy the doll, and I'm here to let you have it. Okay. Let's get into the things, guys. So I wanted to come on here and talk about um, the men who date and sleep with trans women and why some of them, not all of them, why some of them panic after they sleep with a trans woman. I was rereading my memoir, Brave Story of a Trans Woman, award winning memoir, may I say. And if you have not, please purchase my memoir. It's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and just Google it, it'll come up. Anyways, so I was rereading my memoir and I was just bored, child. And I was reading the chapter called Agony and Ecstasy, in which I detail a story about a man that I was dating. Okay, not really dating, but hooking up with when I had just transitioned to a woman and started dating men who were seeking sleeping with trans women or dating trans women. And it was during this time of my life that I really started to observe like the psyche of men who are attracted to trans women and how they think and operate. And because I mean, not to stigmatize anybody, but when you think about it, it's not the norm to be attracted to a trans woman. It can be their norm, but it's not the majority, I should say. Okay. Anywho's, so this guy I was dating, his name was John, or sleeping with, his name was John, and he was married. And he would hook up with me during the wee hours of the night. And after we would hook up, he would like lay there and like just be obviously disturbed. And mind you, I wasn't the first trans woman he slept with. So he had slept with trans women in the past, but he seemed to have struggled with his attraction to trans women. And after we would sleep together, he would lie there and be clearly disturbed and distressed. And I would talk to him and have a conversation with him and try and figure out where his mind was at. So he would tell me, he felt guilt and shame about being married and being unfaithful to his wife by sleeping with other people, myself included, in particular trans women. And he would also discuss like how he's a father and how he felt like he was betraying his family by being unfaithful. And then he would also discuss his fear and shame about being discovered that he was being intimate with trans women. So what I discovered, what I found out from this experience is that many, and really all my experiences lumped together with trans attracted men, is that they really don't mind sleeping with a trans woman. It's the component of somebody finding out that they slept with a trans woman. So in this case, there was a component of infidelity and shame and guilt associated with that, having children and not being the father figure that he wanted to be. And then there was the component of, am I going to be labeled gay? Am I gay? So let's switch gears real quick. So are men who sleep with trans women gay? In my opinion, I would say no. Now, the majority of the men, really all the men that I dated post-transition, identified as straight or heterosexual. And admittedly, I would say this confused me as a trans woman because I'm not a cisgender woman. I am still technically male, and I will always be male. I'm identify as a woman. That's my gender identity. But as I'm sure many of you know, there's a difference between gender identity and sex and sexual orientation. So, well, let's go into that. So, gender is how you identify as. So, gender can be man, woman, non-binary. Sex is how you are biologically made up. So, sex can be male, it can be female, it can be intersex. And then sexual orientation is your sexual preferences, who you choose to sleep with, and who you are attracted to ultimately. So that can be gay, straight, bisexual, pansexual, etc. So, where was I going with this? So, anyways, so the men who sleep with trans women, are they gay? Are they bi? In my opinion, I don't know. I just say they're trans attracted. In my opinion, again, this is just my opinion. I don't think they are heterosexual, because heterosexual means that you are a cisgender man attracted to a cisgender woman. Not so much like a man attracted to a woman. There's sapiosexual, where it's like you're attracted to femininity. Pansexual doesn't make sense, because pansexual under that umbrella encompasses attraction to men as well, and trans women aren't men. And then same thing with bisexual. Bisexual encompasses attraction to men as well, and trans women are not men, and the men that date me are 9 times out of 10 not attracted to men. So I guess to summarize everything, I don't believe they're gay. I think they're somewhere on the queer spectrum. But when I've had conversations with men and said, well, maybe you're not straight, but that's okay, it's created like severe defensiveness. And so I just keep that to myself. You are, at the end of the day, how you identify as. So if you are attracted to trans women and you say you're straight, then baby, you are straight. I respect your identity. And if that's what you tell me that you want to be identified as, I will respect that. But anyways, this guy named John that I was dating, he really struggled with his sexual identity and his identity in general as a man, as a husband, as a father. And without giving all the chapter away, he basically one day called me up saying he was suicidal and he planned to end his life because he was struggling with his identity this much. And when I say panic, this is what I mean. It's the line between attraction, love, hate, violence is very blurred when it comes to men who date trans women and sleep with trans women. And I guess it also applies to cisgender women as well. But he called me up and he said he was going to end his life. And long story short, he didn't go through with it. I was able to help him through that situation. And it's crazy to think that somebody would end their life because of struggling with knowing that somebody would find out that they sleep with a trans woman. Now, the violence is not always self-directed. It can be directed towards the trans woman that they're also sleeping with, which is why in many of the cases of trans women who have been murdered by their lovers, it's been because they were fearful that people would find out that they slept with a trans woman and they would be labeled as gay. And in their mind, the solution is get rid of the trans woman. Nobody's going to find out. And that sounds crazy, and it is crazy. But there used to be something called the gay panic defense, where it excused this behavior, these murders, because it was thought, well, it's like a crime of passion or whatever, that they found out that the woman was trans and used to be a man, excuse me, and of course they killed her, which is so stupid to think about, especially now in 2026 where, you know, you see the memes and the comments. Well, I can always tell. We always know. Well, bitch, how you always know? But when it comes to the man murdering a trans woman, oh, he didn't know. She tricked him, etc., etc. But that's neither here nor there. So let's talk about DL culture as well. So it's ironic that women don't want a man to be DL, meaning they don't want them to be a man that secretly sleeps with trans women, or also their DL can apply to men who sleep with men, but we'll stick with trans women for now. I'm a trans woman, by the way, but I didn't say that earlier. But anyways, so it's ironic that, you know, they don't want their man to be DL, but the man doesn't feel, we don't create a environment, a society where men can openly say they're attracted to trans women, they slept with trans women without them being labeled gay, without them being labeled a sexuality that they don't identify as or agree with. And it sounds so simple and to an outsider, it sounds so simple and not as big of a deal. Oh, just you're gay, whatever. But sexual identity, your identity is who you are, and it is a big deal, and it's completely who you are. How can it not be a big deal, right? So we need to create a society where there is acceptance, where there is not a stigma associated with sleeping with a trans woman. And also, we need more visibility. We need more trans attracted men to come out and say they're attracted to trans women, they date trans women, they're in a relationship with trans women, whatever. They're married to a trans woman, and be proud of that. And if people want to say they're gay, then just fuck them. I mean, you know who you are at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what somebody else says. You can't control what other people think about you. And what other people think about you, baby, like RuPaul said, unless they paying your bills, pay them bitches no mind. Amen. So that was really what I wanted to touch base on with this video, talking about why men sometimes panic after they sleep with trans women. It has to do with shame and stigma and being potentially labeled a sexual identity that they don't identify as. And that creates this sense of distress, this internalized split between who they are and how society is forcing them to identify. And I coined this PODS, post-orgasm distress syndrome, where after they ejaculate and orgasm, it's like they don't know who they are. They don't know how to react. This is in particular after they sleep with a trans woman. But read the book if you want to know more about that. I guess that's pretty much it for now, guys. So anyways, let me know if there's anything else you guys want me to talk about in the comments below. And I want to thank everybody who liked and commented on my last video, and the subscribers. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to try my best to release one video a week. I will try my best. I do have a busy life, but I will try my best. And that's it for now. So until next time, I will see y'all later. Bye.